Yo, welcome back to Cage Calculated. Today. We've got the Fight Night Oklahoma City card predictions. Dricus du Plessis headlining against Kamaru Usman, two African brothers headlining this card. And I'm going to be real with y'all, this card sucks. It's not entirely the card's fault. There were some good fights that were on this card. Obviously, we are all really upset about a lot of these women's fights getting canceled. Oh no, I'm devastated, man. But in reality, I am devastated about Kevin Holland versus Jacoby Smith getting canceled. That sucks. I was looking forward to that. I think Jacoby Smith likely would have won that, but you never know. Kevin Holland has that it factor, and he is a fun fighter to watch regardless. It would have been fun. It would have been a great fight. And now we get a Chase Hooper versus Mitch Ramirez featured fight of the night. No disrespect, but, just want to be real with y'all. That's what we're going to be tuning into. So, going to make some predictions on it. Before I get started and jump into Dion Barbosa versus Anna Milesano, I know a lot of fans are really jumping at the bit, waiting for this prediction. We've been waiting all year for the witch versus the bandana. We had a fight announcement earlier today. From Big Marcel. If you aren't following Big Marcel on Instagram, go check him out. This was also sent by Tristan from the Cage Calculated account on Instagram. If you're not following already, go check it out. Tristan's killing it. There is a full breakdown of how Dricus du Plessis and Kamaru Usman could each possibly win this fight, as well as I'll go into it a little bit here. But go check out the post. Go give it a follow. It just takes one click. Go check it out, man. But there was a fight announcement. As you can see, hopefully y'all can see it on the phone. I know it's not the most elite setup, but we have Damian Demon Hands Anderson versus Ezra Elliott. Ezra Elliott, the white guy, Damian Demon Hands, the non-white guy. So that's my description. They both have chest tattoos. They both have chains on. So that was the best I could do. Damian Demon Hands is 5-0. He is about 28 years old. He's from the U.S. And that's about all we know. He's making his UFC debut. We've got Ezra Elliott, who is 7-0. He is 26, possibly 25. No, he's 26. He trains at the MMA lab and Red Hawk Academy, so trains with Tim Welch and Sean O'Malley, so that's pretty cool. And it feels like a Street Beefs fight. And it got announced today on a Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, 4 days before this fight card happens. That's where we're at. But regardless, comments seem to be really excited about it. I tried to peruse some comments just to kind of get an idea of what I'm looking at. I did learn about the Tim Welch with Ezra Elliott connection. Comments seem pretty split. Both of these guys seem pretty good. Apparently this fight's going to be a banger. So if I let you down from saying that it is going to be a banger, then I apologize. I was misinformed. But I'm not doing research on this one. I'm just going to make my call. I'm going to go Ezra Elliott because he trains with Tim Welch. I know Tim Welch pumps out some good fighters. And, that's a good gym around him. He's 7-0. Maybe we'll give him a chance there. Kind of looks Australian, so maybe he's got some dog in him. So Ezra Elliott, and we'll go by unanimous decision. Both those guys are pretty much going to be the same style of fighter. It is at featherweight, so tune in for that. You are the real Demon Hands if you're watching that fight. But jumping into fights that are actually on Tapology, which is insane that that's not on Tapology yet, because Tapology is usually dialed in. But we've got the witch, Dion Barbosa versus Anna Milesano. Dion Barbosa 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Did get a win, a majority decision win at that against Melissa Gatto earlier this year. Lost to Karine Silva, also lost to Miranda Maverick, both unanimous decision losses. Had an arm triangle choke and a unanimous decision versus Ernesta Karakaite. Pretty solid. Her grappling is really what I like to watch. She is a really good jiu-jitsu specialist. Amazing on the ground. Not great with striking, like not elite, but she is decent at striking. But Anna Milesano, if you do not know her story, she was on The Ultimate Fighter this year, was the first pick by Michael Bisping on the draft type thing that they do with him and DC, which were somehow running back for like the billionth time. Regardless, I did watch the first episode just to kind of get an idea of Anna Milesano, and she got slimed in the first episode. Don't know what happened. She doesn't even really seem to know what happened. She said, and I quote, "I have never fought like that." She just got beat bad, I don't remember who she fought, but she just got beat pretty badly, and she is obviously pretty good. Knockout win here, submission win here, knockout win here, unanimous decision win here. She is good. But man, was the lights too bright. She is from Birmingham, Alabama, shout out. But I think the lights were a little too bright. She just kind of pissed down her leg in that fight. She does have an elite reach in this one, 70-inch reach compared to Barbosa's 66.5. She's a very rangy striker, that being Milesano, and she's going to try and counter at every given chance. Barbosa's looking for takedowns and trying to enter the pocket and exit the pocket pretty regularly. I'm going to go with Barbosa because she has UFC experience, and unfortunately, Melisano just looked like shit in her, Ultimate Fighter fight. This is a, fight in front of a crowd now, so you actually have some serious eyes on you versus just fighting in the fucking Apex. I don't know how you shit your pants in the empty Apex, but it is what it is. It's a big moment. I'm not a fighter. I'm not going to speculate. But I will go Barbosa winning this one by decision. I like her takedown ability. I think she's going to try and smother Melisano and make this a grinded out fight. And it's a women's fight. It'll always go to a decision likely. So moving into the next fight on the prelims, we have Alvin Hines versus RJ Harris. Alvin Hines is 0-1 in the UFC, lost his debut to Janate Dinez by unanimous decision. This dude's a dog. He can fight really, really well, has some good power, has had some really cool knockout wins, arm triangle choke, ground and pound. This dude looks like your dad who is manning the grill at the local 4th of July party, but this dude's a dog. He can fight really, really well, and I am impressed by what I've seen from him. But man, something about RJ Harris. He's only 5-0, but look at this resume. Humor me for a second. I know he fought in the LFA. Let's just get that out of the way. Philip Latu, standing guillotine choke. I watched this fight. It was sick. Alex Morrow, knockout, left hook. He's got knockout power. Decision in that fight. A Americana submission in this fight. And a forearm choke. This dude's a monster. And he's 6'6", 80-inch reach. Like, Alvin Hines is going to be dwarfed by this dude. RJ Harris looks like a monster. The only thing I am genuinely worried about in this fight is RJ Harris's chin is going to be kind of up in the air, but he's got a beard, so it kind of helps. I'm not saying that that's an advantage, but you see these fucking power slap guys grow beards, and I'm not saying I watch power slap, but you think there's some strategy to it. Oh my God, I cannot believe I'm talking about power slap on this channel. I am going to end it all. But all that being said, his chin is going to be up in the air. Maybe there's a chance Alvin Hines gets him, and he is the favorite for a reason. I mean, 60% of people are picking him, but I'm going to go RJ Harris by knockout. I think he's going to get it done incredibly quickly. I think his power is something that is very underrated. His submission game is elite, and I won't be surprised if he gets a submission win in this one. I'm going to go by a knockout. I think Alvin Hines, he hasn't been finished before, but there's always a first time for everything. I think RJ Harris is the truth. And there's a foreign country that I will not name on this channel that he had a flag of in the background of one of his training videos that Tristan pointed out. I'm not going to say what country, but I think RJ Harris by plot armor. That's going to be all I'm going to say about that. Moving into the next prelim, Alden Correa versus Stuart Nickel. I'm going to be real with y'all. Stuart Nickel's getting slimed. I'm going to make it pretty quick. Stuart Nickel's, 0-3 in his last 3 fights. He's lost every single fight in the UFC. I just kind of feel bad at a certain point. Got slimed by Alessandro Costa, decision by Lucas Rocha, and submitted by Jesus Aguilar, who is cut from the UFC. Stuart Nickel, it's over, buddy. I apologize. I'm not going to sit there and try and disrespect you by making fun of you. It's just over. Alden Correa is that good. And he trains at the 4-Ounce Fight Club in Houston, Texas with Joshua Van. This dude's boxing is elite. He is super rangy, a reach advantage and a height advantage in this one. He's got really sneaky knockout power, and he can scramble from any takedown. He trains with Joshua Van. What more needs to be said? I'm going to go Alden Correa winning this one by a knockout in the second round. I think that he's going to really try and just piece up Stuart Nickel, utilize some of these body shots, start working slowly up to the head with his hooks, with his jab, and then eventually look for the finish in round 2. I think he's just really going to showcase a lot of his striking. And Alden Correa, man, I mean, he is so much fun to watch. That Luis Garule decision, I know it's a decision. Luis Garule isn't like elite or anything, but he pieced up Luis Garule through and through that entire fight. Had he knockout versus Alessandro Costa, this dude's the truth. I really like Alden Correa, and he is a super fun fighter to watch. I know that these guys aren't super well known, but check out this fight. You're going to see some fun striking combinations from Alden Correa. Up next, we have Felipe Franco versus Levi Rodriguez Jr. Felipe Franco moving down to UFC light heavyweight division. Levi Rodriguez also pretty large for the light heavyweight division, but interesting fight. Felipe Franco had a really not close fight against Mario Pinto, but the fact that he took Mario Pinto to a decision when Mario Pinto was supposed to slime him is a win to me. There is a such thing as a good loss, and that was a good loss versus Mario Pinto. He showed that he's capable, he's not chinny, and he is also like able to go 15 minutes in the cage. Mario Pinto, that win is more of a loss because everyone was hyped up about this dude at heavyweight. He's a future top 5. He's going to be elite. He was number 1 on some people's prospect lists. I mean, Mario Pinto was supposed to be this super elite fighter, and Felipe Franco took him to a decision. So I'm not saying that like that really elevates Felipe Franco for me, but that's something that is a note. And even though it's a loss, it's really not. Had a submission win and had a knockout win. This dude's pretty good everywhere on the feet, on the ground. He's really not going to struggle too much. And he is a pretty big fighter, 6'1", 76-inch reach. But Levi Rodriguez, a baby monster. He is a big dude. Had a no contest in his Dana White Contender Series fight, but has a knockout. It was a shoulder injury in that one, but has a knockout. This dude is a knockout machine. Originally, I was going to go Felipe Franco by submission, and Tristan and I talked about it a little bit last night. He kind of helped me with some of his ideas about how these fights are going to go. I'm going to go Levi Rodriguez Jr. by knockout in the first round. I really like his power. Felipe Franco, I know I just talked about him being pretty durable, but man, that move down to light heavyweight is going to make it tough on the cut, tough on the power, and I think Levi Rodriguez Jr. is going to be a just very large opponent that Felipe Franco would normally dwarf in like moving down from heavyweight to light heavyweight. You would think this dude would dwarf everybody, but he's facing another giant light heavyweight. I think Levi Rodriguez Jr. is used to fighting at this weight. I think he's going to do very well, and I think he is going to get it done by knockout. Moving into the second to last prelim fight, we've got Seok-Yeon Ko versus John Paul Lebesnoyani. Seok-Yeon Ko is 5-0 in his last 5 fights. I believe he's won like several fights in a row. This dude's a monster. Both have fought Phil Rowe in their last fight, both being a decision. How insane is that? But beat Oban Elliott, beat Igor Cavalcanti in his initial Dana White Contender Series fight, and he has some serious knockout power. This dude is very good, and he does have a serious right and left hook. He has a mean jab. His striking is elite, and he's known as the Korean Tyson, as you can see right here. He is a very good fighter, but John Paul Lebesnoyani does not need to be taken back. He's got a 5-fight win streak as well. Switch stance guy, has really great volume, is incredibly dangerous. Obviously beat Phil Rowe, had a knockout in his Dana White Contender Series fight, a submission here, a decision here, a knockout here. He is really good everywhere, and because of that, I think Seok-Yeon Ko has serious power. I'm going to go John Paul Lebesnoyani, and I'll go by a split decision. It only lets me pick decision on here, but I'm going to go officially split decision. I think Seok-Yeon Ko loses the first round. John Paul Lebesnoyani gets a takedown early, really threatens him because his takedown defense, I don't know if his takedown defense is that legit. He hasn't really been tested on it, but maybe there's something there. He really hasn't fought anyone that is going to try and really take him down. Maybe Oban Elliott a little bit, but none of these guys are really going to go after it like John Paul Lebesnoyani. And I also think Lebesnoyani has plot armor. He's very active in Instagram comment sections. He is a super cool dude, and maybe I'm kind of a little bit biased because I want to see the guy get a win. Only 22% of people are picking him, but I think that he has a real chance. Get a takedown, get some control time, really get some ground and pound. Seok-Yeon Ko maybe wins the second round, and John Paul Lebesnoyani wins the third. It's probably going to be close, but I think it's going to be a split decision for a reason. One of those rounds is going to be really close, and I think both of these guys will win another round at that. The striking advantage is on Seok-Yeon Ko, but I think Lebesnoyani's grappling will really come into effect in this fight. And, John Paul Lebesnoyani, he does have that just it factor of being a fun fighter to watch. And maybe Seok-Yeon Ko gets a little bit lax and is looking for that perfect shot. He has done that before, and took Phil Rowe to a decision. Phil Rowe shouldn't be that much of a difficult challenge, no disrespect. We'll see what happens. Obviously, a split decision versus Phil Rowe. Maybe just plot armor by John Paul Lebesnoyani. Maybe a stupid pick, but I just see it. If you can see it, maybe it happens. I don't know. You don't have to trust me. I just trust my gut. Up next, we've got Jose Miguel Delgado versus Austin Bashi. Jose Delgado, kind of a sweetheart of this featherweight division, did have a loss versus Nathaniel Wood, who is a really solid fighter, but had a great split decision win versus Andre Fili. This dude's just having to overcome a lot. had a knockout win versus Hyder Emil, Connor Matthews, and then had a knockout win in his Dana White Contender Series fight. This dude is very, very capable, and I think that he will have a good chance to win this fight. Austin Bashi does have the one loss to Christian Rodriguez, submitted John Giannis. Had a rear naked choke in his Dana White Contender Series. This dude is pretty good, but I don't know if I trust him against Jose Delgado. Jose Delgado is just one of the guys that you watch and you're like, man, I love the way this guy fights. He's just super active, super pressure heavy, wants to strike, wants to get a win by a fun method. He is just a fun fighter, and you want to see these guys succeed, and I want to see him succeed in this one. We're going to go Jose Delgado by decision. I think he gets a couple knockdowns in this one. I think you're going to see some cool exchanges. Austin Bashi's no slouch. Like, he will exchange with you. He does have some really good choke ability, and I think if this fight goes to the ground, he does have an advantage there. But man, I just like the way Jose Delgado fights. I'm cheering for this guy. I want to see this guy get wins, and I want to see him continue moving up the ranks. And after two pretty, tough fight against Andre Fili and a tough loss against Nathaniel Wood, you really want to see him get going, and he's got an opportunity against Austin Bashi. Let's hope he gets it done, because I really do think that this guy is going to be a fun fighter for a couple of years in the future for the UFC. Maybe never like a top 5, top 10 type guy, but he is somebody who you are going to want to watch, obviously on the prelims possibly, or maybe just like at the very tail end of a fight night. Something that he is going to be making his career out of is just fun fights to watch, something that you're going to want to tune into, and I'm excited for this one. I think it's going to be a fun one. I think Delgado gets it done by decision. Up next, one of Tristan's least favorite fighters. We were talking about this one. Tommy McMillan versus Alberto Montez, Ilia Topuria. Alberto Montez, pretty good fighter, man. I mean, he's 11-1. He, lost there, but had a Darce choke against Ricky Tercios, had an Anaconda choke against Carlos Calderon. He's a good fighter. He's very good. And I think he has a really good chance to win this. But Tommy McMillan, he fights like a bar fighter. Like, he just sits at range and just strikes, and he'll take some shots, man. He will get ripped into. When he fought in this fight against Manolo Zakenny, I did watch the replay of this one. He was kind of getting pieced up at some certain points, but does worry me in this one. But, man, he's got some plot armor. People are just talking about this guy. He had a majority decision in the Dana White Contender Series, by the way. People talk about this guy like he's some elite prospect, that he does kind of fight like a dumbass. And I can kind of see Tristan's point. Tristan is all in on Alberto Montez. He thinks Alberto Montez is going to slam him, but I disagree. I'm going to go. Oh, dude, do I really want to do it? It's a very close fight. You can obviously see the picks are very, very close. McMillan's actually an underdog in this one. I'm going to go McMillan. I like the ranginess of him. I like the fact that he's able to counter in a lot of instances. It's just really if his ground game is that good, and I don't really know. He does train at the Red Hawk Academy. Oh, man, he's just like a dog shit Sean O'Malley is kind of what I'm thinking. Like, he does have a really just fun it factor where he is a super exciting fighter to watch, but he just kind of, it's like watching a car accident where it's like there's really nothing good that comes out of a car accident, but like, maybe you survive, maybe you don't. I don't know. It's just there's something about the kid, right? And so I'm going to go by split decision. I think Alberto Montez at least gets 1, maybe even 2 rounds of a lot of control time, because I think Tommy McMillan's going to be likely getting taken down in a good instance and get pinned. But Tommy McMillan's going to strike very well. I mean, you can see he has a pretty immense reach advantage in this one, has a bit of a height advantage as well, a lot of a height advantage at that. I'm going to go Tommy McMillan by split decision. I think that Tommy McMillan probably loses round 1. The second round is close. He's able to find like maybe a butterfly hooks, or just gets up from a scramble. Maybe gets out of a submission, I don't know, and then, pieces up Alberto Montez, maybe gets a knockdown at the end of the round and, takes it very slightly, and then has a fantastic round 3 when Alberto Montez is tired from all the wrestling. That's maybe my prediction. 2 fights that, I'm not super confident about are the Seok Ko fight and the Tommy McMillan fight, but I'm going to trust my gut. Let's go with Tommy McMillan, Tommy Gunn, get it done for me. I'm going to trust the hype. I'm going to trust the prospect tag that people are putting on him, and I'm going to think that Topuria gets beat. I mean, let's be real. Ilia got beat. What's saying that Topuria doesn't get beat? I know that's not apples to apples, it's more apples to oranges, but it is what it is. Let's check it out. Moving into the next main card fight, we've got Tabitha Ricci versus Fatima Klein. Pretty interesting fight. Tabitha Ricci was a top strawweight at one point. Very small, only 5'1". I mean, she is tiny. And Fatima Klein's pretty good. I was debating this fight back and forth, and I'm not going to break it down too much. I mean, she got beat by Verna Jandiroba, Xiaonan Yan. She did beat Amanda Ribas, but like an Angela Hill win, Melissa Martinez win. Like, it's not super impressive. Like, Angela Hill did just get a win recently, but like Fatima Klein is such an interesting fighter because she's so rangy and she's so great at her striking. Knees, elbows, just a really nice jab. Super fun striking mix-ups. But Tabitha Ricci does make a lot of her money in just being great everywhere. She's not really a slouch anywhere, and she does just have a lot of pressure and a lot of different instances, and you have to be if you're that small. You really can't be on your back foot very much. I'm going to go Fatima Klein, and I will go... I'm debating a knockout, but I'm going to go decision. I think that Tabitha Ricci has a decent enough chin. Like, I know she hasn't really been slimed yet, and it's like I'm not going to think that Fatima Klein's going to be the one to do it. I'm going to go by decision. I think just the reach disadvantage, the height disadvantage is going to be a big factor in this one. I think that Fatima Klein will get on the gas pedal, really pressure Tabitha Ricci and force her against the cage at some points and really just try and unload her striking arsenal. And again, those elbows, those knees, they're so nasty in the clinch when Tabitha Ricci's trying to go for takedowns. I will go with Fatima Klein by a decision. I'm going to go unanimous at that. Moving into the featured fight of the night, fucking Chase Hooper versus Mitch Ramirez. And it's no disrespect to either of these guys, but like, who wants to see this as a featured fight? Like, honest to God, I'd be more happy with like Jose Delgado or even like Alden Correa as the co-main. And I know that's not like realistic, but like, I mean, even you could, I know Tristan hates him, but you could make the argument for a Tommy McMillan. Like, this dude has pretty good hype, and Top Turo is pretty funny to watch. So like, Chase Hooper, like, really, like, I'm no disrespect, but like, the dude's on a 2-fight losing streak. Mitch Ramirez has lost 2 out of his last 3, lost 3 out of his last 5. I mean, Chase Hooper knocked out by Lance Gibson, got slimed by Alexander Hernandez, he beat a bunch of old fucks, and then, beat by Mike Davis from Mitch Ramirez, got slimed by Thiago Moises, did get a win in the LFA, lost the Dana White Contender Series against Carlos Prates. If you want to watch that fight, dude, Carlos Prates fucking smokes this dude. I mean, just one straight, and it was over. It was insane. But I'm not going to break this down too much. Chase Hooper's an elite jiu-jitsu guy, and this is a guy who sucks at defending takedowns in Mitch Ramirez. I'm going to go Chase Hooper, and I will go by round 2 submission. Maybe like an arm bar. That's kind of Chase Hooper's type deal. Maybe just some rear naked choke. I'm going to go Chase Hooper. He should win this fight. He's a favorite for a reason. I'm going to go by submission. That's kind of his game. He does fight like a newborn giraffe on the feet, so like Mitch Ramirez has a chance to knock him out because he does actually have a little bit of knockout power. But like, a homeless man does too. So I'm going to go the Chase Hooper by submission. Co-main event time. We've got the Killer Gorilla versus Christian Leroy Duncan. Jared Cannonier. Love the guy. He's a super fun fighter, or was a super fun fighter. He's fighting at 42 years old. That's a feat in and of itself. And the fact that he's fighting against pretty solid prospects / like hopeful contenders right now, it's a testament to his skill set. It's a testament to his longevity. He is a monster. And, when he does retire, we're going to miss the Killer Gorilla. I love some Jared Cannonier fights. Lost to Michael Venom Page in his last fight. Did knock out Gregory Rodriguez. That's a pretty good win. A year and 4 months ago. That's not long enough ago for me to be like, oh, that doesn't matter. Like, RoboCop looks like a world beater right now. And for him to get a win at Jared Cannonier at 41 years old, or, maybe 40 years old, that's unbelievable. Did lose to KO Borrelio, did lose to Nasruddin Imavov. I mean, all good opponents, and beat Marvin Vettori. None of these opponents I'm sitting here thinking, oh, this dude is starting to get layups. And he doesn't get a layup in Christian Leroy Duncan. Leroy Duncan beating Roman Dolidze, beating Marco Tullio, beating Eric Anders, and beating Andre Polyaev, losing to RoboCop. It's going to be an interesting fight because both of these guys fight very different styles. Christian Leroy Duncan, very rangy, very defensively sound, doesn't really get pieced up too much. Jared Cannonier looking for that big power shot, will take some shots, but he is very, very tough, very just a difficult fighter to try and just straight and knock out, and he doesn't really get smoked that badly really ever. I'm going to go Christian Leroy Duncan, and the reason is the ranginess. You can see a slight reach advantage, but he has a height advantage. I think he's just faster. He's going to have a little bit more oomph behind his shots. He's going to feel more confident. I think Jared Cannonier is going to be looking for that one big shot, and he could find it, especially because Christian Leroy Duncan is taller. That chin will be a little higher for him. but I don't think that Jared Cannonier has that much left in the tank. It sucks to say, but I think this is kind of the beginning of the end for the guy. Yes, he doesn't really, he beat Gregory Rodriguez, but MVP beats him, Caleb Borrelia. It's just he's not elite anymore, and I think Christian Leroy Duncan is just a little bit better at this point in time. I'm going to go Christian Leroy Duncan winning this one by decision. Now, these odds are not very accurate. I do think that Christian Leroy Duncan is a little bit closer than a minus 330. He's maybe like a minus 180 to me. I do think that Jared Cannonier has a legitimate chance, and I think that, the community, most people are picking Christian Leroy Duncan, like myself, because they do think that Christian Leroy Duncan is going to win just based on how he has fought recently. But Jared Cannonier has that way of just kind of getting back into the picture and just not dying yet. And he is like the perfect cockroach of this division. He is a monster. In his prime, he was so much fun to watch. Watch some Killer Gorilla highlights. That's your homework from Cage Calculated. The dude's a fucking monster. Moving into the main event of the evening. And go check out the post. There's some good breakdowns. Tristan gives his good breakdown in this one. We've got Dricus du Plessis versus Kamaru Usman. This is a middleweight fight. Kamaru Usman moving up from welterweight to middleweight. Did get a win versus Joaquin Buckley. Recently lost Khamzat, lost to Leon twice, and then obviously beat Colby Covington like a million years ago. Dricus lost that, just stinker, butthole, control bullshit fight against Khamzat Chimaev. Beat Strickland twice, beat Israel Adesanya, beat Robert Whittaker. Dricus du Plessis the real deal. And kind of talking about what we talked about in the post, I think Dricus du Plessis has an elite advantage in this fight. He has the flurries that he can throw. He has the weight advantage where he's used to fighting at this weight. He's used to fighting really great middleweights. I mean, this resume, Khamzat, Strickland twice, Israel once, Bobby Knuckles, who just got a win recently. This dude's fought the best at middleweight. And no disrespect to Kamaru Usman, it's going to be interesting to see how that weight is going to affect him, how being that large is going to affect him. He's used to being kind of the weight class bully, and at 170, he was a very big 170 pounder. He's got good wrestling. He's got a good power shot, but Dricus is used to fighting at this weight, and I think Dricus is going to do very well to try and work Kamaru Usman, work the leg kicks, really limit the movement, try and, clinch him up, make him carry Dricus, make Kamaru Usman have to really work. And I know Kamaru Usman's wrestling's elite, and Dricus doesn't necessarily want to take him to the ground, but make him work. See if that cardio's still there after having to gain 15 pounds and fight. It's going to be tough. I think Kamaru Usman has a chance of winning this one by control time, really limiting some of the flurries that Dricus could use, utilizing that jab, keeping Dricus at distance. That's going to be how he does get a win in this one. It will be probably a boring win, but Kamaru Usman's more than capable of that, and he isn't over-aggressive. But in a 5-round fight at this weight, at this level of competition, I think Dricus just has the advantage. Yes, he got controlled like hell against Khamzat, and maybe that's an actual weakness. There's just, I just don't think Dricus is really going to necessarily struggle that badly. And I think in a 5-round fight, I'm going to take Dricus more times than not. I'm going to go by decision. Kamaru Usman has elite striking defense, elite takedown defense. I think Dricus is going to struggle to land in some instances, but he will find his shots. He's going to put Kamaru Usman up against the cage. And I think body language is going to be a big factor in this one. Kamaru Usman, I think, is going to get tired. I know he's a great wrestler. It's such a worry for me, him fighting at 39 years old in a completely different weight class against a former champion. It's just difficult. That's a tough fight to do. And that's a tough ask for anybody. And it's just, no disrespect to Kamaru Usman, Hall of Famer, legend of the game, and I did like his title reign. I loved it, actually. It was a super fun one. He found his power, and he really came into his own during that title reign. But I think Dricus is in his prime now, and he is going to likely get this one done. I think the community does think so as well. 82% picking Dricus. A lot of people are picking by knockout. I don't think Kamaru Usman is really chinny yet, and I don't think that it's necessarily going to be there could be a knockdown or two, but I think it's just going to be a really good striking expose by Dricus du Plessis, and I think that's the reality of it. Go check out the post if you want some more information on it. I kind of gave my breakdown. Tristan kind of gave his breakdown, so if you want some more information, go check that out. As always, appreciate y'all watching. If y'all watch this card, shout out to y'all. I will probably be watching it, but it's not the most exciting. We always kind of have a stinker after a numbered event, but regardless, I'm excited for this fight. I'm excited for Alden Corey. I'm excited for Tommy McMillan a little bit, and there's some interesting matchups, even though it's a bunch of no names. And we've got what's his name, Demon Hands fighting on this card. I mean, oh my god, dude. But yeah, as always, appreciate y'all watching. Go check out the Twitter. Go check out the Instagram. Go check out the TikTok. See ya.